You're listening to Pato, the Ghost Rider Show. You're listening to Pato, the Ghost Rider Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to today's podcast. This is Pato the Ghost Rider. Thanking you for tuning in because, well, I know you have options. Speaking of options, a new episode of Cursory Overload is available, episode 14. And this is the first time that we are broadcasting from two different cities, obviously, because, well, like I said, I screwed it up when I moved out in the boonies. So it's coming to you from the 623 and the 520 through the magic of the internet. So it's a learn as we go process. So check it out, episode 14, cursoryoverload.com or Spreaker or iTunes or Google Music Play, whichever it is you use, your preference, right? That being said, this is Pato the Ghost Rider Show. Haven't been doing some of them because, well, I've been busy. Working a lot, I'm always working. I actually have a day off today, so I really don't know what to do with myself, except I've been going around cleaning and then watering plants and all the stuff that I normally try not to do, but here I am doing it because I gotta keep myself busy. I can't believe that the other gig didn't have, anything available right now. But it is what it is. So just, one day at a time, enjoying life. And I hope you are too, because life is precious, life is short. So I hope you are having an awesome, what is this today, Thursday morning? But then again, I hope you are having an awesome day. It doesn't matter whenever you choose to listen to this episode. You listening right now, I want to wish you a very awesome day today. Okay, that being said, this probably belongs in Cursory Overload, but I'm going to do it here because I'll forget about it if I don't put it out there. So even though it's kind of dirty, I'm going to keep it clean because this is rated for everyone. But, usually, when, all right, let's go right to it. No more going around it. Okay, sometimes when I go in the bathroom and I'm taking a crap, and I know we all take a crap. This is not something that is just exclusive of me. All human beings, we all go to the toilet. We all take a crap. So sometimes, me personally, I usually courtesy flush because I don't like to deal with my own odors, bottom line. But, there's times when you're in a hurry. And I guess this morning I was in a hurry. So I was there, took care of that crap, blah, blah, blah. Get up, toilet paper, wipe, do whatever I gotta do. Then as I turn around, I look at what I had just deposited into the toilet bowl. Yeah. I must admit that the 9-year-old in me was taking over. I saw the shape of that and I thought, I need to snap a picture of this. It was hard fighting the 9-year-old in me because I was like, you know what? I could post it on Instagram. I could post it on Facebook or maybe, one of those, one of the social media platforms, Technically, I'm no Picasso, but I think this is art. And, I'm debating here whether, okay, where's my phone? Dang it, I didn't bring my phone in. But if I would have had my phone in, the 9-year-old would have won, and I probably would have snapped a picture. So let's all be thankful that I did not bring my phone into the bathroom. But bottom line is I'm debating all this, and all of a sudden the stench hits my nostrils again. I come out of that, whatever it was, and I like, oh, dang, I gotta flush this. Oh, boom. But I'm just saying, I had one of those 9-year-old moments today where I was almost tempted to snap a picture. And, I figured there's a lot of worse crap out there that passes as art, right? So why not? Yeah, I don't know. That's just the thought I was having this morning. You know, I just thought I shared this crap with you. All right. In other news, I'll be right back. Alrighty. So being back and in other news, like I said, recently watched the Deadpool 2 movie. I've made some comments in cursory overload, but I want to expand here. Obviously when Deadpool 1 came out, Mrs. Pato and I watched it, and because of the sex scenes in the movie, we decided against letting the kids watch it. Of course, we know kids are kids, and there's all kinds of apps that they can download on phones or tablets. So I am not completely blind to the fact that the 8 or 9-year-old at the time and the 10-year-old, whatever, 12, 11-year-old, whatever, even though they claim they didn't, I'm pretty sure they watched it. Because when Deadpool 2 was coming out, they were all like, oh, Deadpool 2, Deadpool 2. But here's the thing, though. As parents, obviously, Mrs. Pato and I decided that we didn't want them watching the sex scenes in Deadpool 1. So Mrs. Pato and I watched Deadpool 2 first, And it's funny because, the movie starts out with the inside joke that, believe it or not, Deadpool 2 is a family movie. Which, after we watched it and Mrs. Pato saw that there was no sex scenes, it became okay for the kids to watch the movie. So I learned something about our family that day, that apparently we don't want our kids to grow up to be perverts, into sex and all that. But we have no problem with them growing up to be killers. Just saying. It's crazy. I don't know how it is in your household, but apparently Mrs. Pato has no problem with them watching gory killings. I'm just saying, not that it's a bad thing. Come on, I grew up watching the RoboCop movies. And not to mention my oldest, usually nicknamed Wrestling Boy. He experienced all 3 RoboCops that he watched with my late father, which, coming to think of it, I just realized, funny how time flies. I'm coming up on the first anniversary of my father passing away. Well, I don't want to be a bummer or anything or bring anybody down, but that just hit me right now as I brought up the fact that there was one time when my oldest, or the one we call Wrestling Boy, was about 3 or 4 years old, and he sat there and watched RoboCop 1, 2, and 3 back to back with my dad. And of course, when I came home from work, I walked in, Wrestling Boy just spit some of the new words he'd learned from the RoboCop movies. And funny enough, my dad was just laughing, thought it was the funniest thing, watching a 3 or 4 year old, I can't remember exactly, just telling me, you can't shoot a kid, can't you, effer? Of course, he said the word. But it is what it is, and it's funny, all I'm saying is, in a sick, twisted way, the Deadpool 2 movie was and is kind of a family movie. I don't know, it stirred up warm feelings in me, which all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I am a sick, twisted individual. But then again, I hang out with K-Dog, so that was established a long time ago. I am a sick, twisted individual. Alright, so I just wanted to share that. By the way, if you haven't seen the Deadpool 2 movie, I suggest you watch it. It's a pretty awesome movie. I wanted to see it when it first came out in the theaters, but life just takes a toll sometimes, and you can't. Sometimes it's financially, sometimes it's work, sometimes it is what it is. Sometimes it's like, well, okay, what do we no one to leave the kids with? Because even though they're older now, you can't really trust teenagers, and especially now, teenagers and a 10-year-old. Oh, righty. Well, now that I got that out of the way, I'll be right back. Alrighty then. So, one of the things I want to talk about here, I want to go serious for a little bit here. Like, really serious. No, this is no joke. Finances. A lot of us, for the most part, unless you were born in the top 1%, but if you're like many of us that work for a living, not just one job, but 2.5 jobs just to make ends meet. Finances is something very serious, very, very important. And I grew up, our family, we like I said, sounds like a show, like The Walking Dead. We were the working poor. Mom, it's funny, I just talked about my dad, and I'm not gonna badmouth him, but now, may he rest in peace. But the last few years of his life, I had a good relationship with my father. But in all honesty, to call a spade, when we were growing up, Mom and Dad had a very stormy relationship. He would just split, and it was mainly Mom always working to provide. So we grew up financially, what do you want to say? What is the word I'm looking for? Very poor, obviously. Let's keep it simple. Financially, impaired. So what I'm saying is, obviously, talking about budgets or just even talking about money was something very stressful for Mom, because she didn't want to talk about it, because first of all, there wasn't enough. Bills were piling up, and we were always, I was always in fear that we weren't going to have enough money to pay the rent, and what was going to happen to us? Where were we going to go? Things like that, and things that a kid shouldn't be worrying about. That's the kind of worries I grew up with. And I wanted to make sure my kids didn't grow up like that. Unfortunately, though, because I grew up in an environment where there wasn't enough money, we never talked about money. And it's funny, I didn't mean to rhyme that, but what I'm saying is, we don't talk about money. We are not taught about money. So we grow up and we work paycheck to paycheck, and we spend. Obviously, I grew up lacking a lot of things. So as soon as I was working, I wanted to go out there and buy everything that I could not have when I was a younger kid, when I was a kid in my childhood. And sometimes we do that for decades. Seriously, to the point where, that's basically what we pass on to the next generation. Now, one thing, like I said, I came across through my church group. Like I said, I've said it before, I'm a Christian. Now, I'm not going to shove Jesus down your throat, or I'm not going to go religious here on you, but I'm going to tell you that through a church group, I went to a workshop, and I came across some videos. I guess they were watching Dave Ramsey's, and y'all heard of him. He's got radio shows, he's got videos, and I watched those, and here's the thing. As I was listening, I kind of got a little upset, because, when he's talking, it feels like he's talking to people that make $50,000 and above. And come on, we're talking, I grew up in poverty levels that, there was no 50 G's in the house. Heck, working 2.5 jobs still don't make 50 G's now. Basically, that was my thing. And this is a couple years ago, maybe going on 4 or 5. So I was in debt. Because you know what? Something that really screwed me up? Payday loans. We couldn't make ends meet, so where do we go? Payday loans. Running up credit cards. Heck, it was, in fact, I didn't even have a credit card, because obviously I went through a divorce. I went through some stuff that damaged credit pretty badly. I lost a house. This is back in 2008. So, without going too much into details, like I said.